Hello, hello, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This will be a Divine Feminine check-in. Let me think. Do I have anything else to say about that? Last we left off with the Divine Feminine energy. Excuse me. Maybe there's something that needs to be communicated, Divine Feminines. Last we left off, Divine Feminine along with Divine Masculine were grieving the friendship. And there we acknowledged and validated that the feminine energy has pretty much had this awareness over the role of the soulmate cycle in the spiritual ascension of the individual and of the pair of the twins. So let's see where we go. All right. Okay. We have Inner Healer. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. You know, this came out in another reading, and it also just came out. Jeez, dropping everything. This just came out in the collective reading that more and more people are coming out of the psychic closet, coming out of the healer closet, coming out of any closet that is in alignment with your soul's gifts that are maybe a bit unconventional. Isn't it interesting? We have drought and then we have abundance. Wow, that's an interesting spectrum right there. Anything else? We have prophetic dreams. Keep an eye on dream state. How are you all doing with that? Are you... if you've been following me for a while, early on in the beginning, that was very common. We were getting some of you... Excuse me, is this going to be the whole reading? Geez, let me take a sip. That many of you were going to get downloads in dream space. So I'm curious how that's going for you. I'm curious if you've been tracking it. I always recommend keeping a tangible paper journal or a little notepad and a pen by your bed so you can just jot down what's going on. Okay. All right, it's taking me a while to get into the flow. I'm going to pull some other cards just to round out the reading, or just to round out the primary messages. Things are already coming through, but let's move my pretty shell. Justice. This came out in the collective reading as well, I believe. And then we have compassion, manifestation. We have life purpose and healing. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Where do we begin, Spirit? Where do we begin? Interesting that I leaned against the wall and I hit my chimes. That's what you heard. Aren't they pretty? It's like a very, it's a metal piece of artwork that they have all these mini little chimes. But as I did that, I'm staring at the Wild Winds card. That wasn't an accident. There's something here about allowing your soul to meet self at the edge of the mystery and allowing the winds of change to take you from drought to abundance, to access this inner and outer healer. I've said this many times that if you're watching me, I guarantee that some grand proportion of you have some sort of healing ability, or maybe you're in the healing arts, maybe you're a psychologist or a massage therapist, Reiki healer, sound healer, shamanic practitioner in some capacity, tantric healer, breath worker. There's something in here about not fearing the winds of change. I just want to say this as a disclaimer. You hear me breathe a lot and exhale a lot. For me, what that's doing is it's quickly, very quickly transmuting and alchemizing the energy. The visuals I get, the feelings I get, it's really dense sometimes. And that's why you hear me breathing so much. I'm sorry I'm breathing into the camera, but what are you going to do? It kind of is what it is. All right, we have manifestation. I feel like Spirit's like stingy with this message right now. I feel like there's a lot of like topics here, but not really a narrative emerging. I just realized we have 2 manifestation cards. Spirit, where do you want me to go with this? I just had a card. We have desire in the reverse. We have betrayal in the reverse. We have leveling up. We have masks. Anything else, Spirit? I feel like I'm grasping at straws right now. There's, but what's interesting? And then we have surrender in the reverse. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Let me just feel. Spirit has been telling me over the last 4 days that I need much more silence in my space. And here I am filling it with shuffling and talking. So let me just drop in. Okay. Feminines, there's a message here that in order to bring justice to self, in order to come into balance within, you are being called to drop any and all masks and step into your authenticity, despite what that authenticity looks like. There's a message here about dropping the need to control what your image looks like. Interesting, I said image. I didn't mean to say image. It was a very narrow word. But this is kind of anything that stems and flows from the ego. These masks could look like a bunch of different things. For instance, do you fragment yourself? Do you catch yourself being one way with your coworkers and then one way with your friends and then a different way with your family and then maybe a different way in public spaces? There's something here about calling all of these faces, all of these pieces of self back home, integrating the parts of you that felt the need to wear a mask in the first place. Remember, when we betray self by wearing a mask, by living a life for other people, because of other people, by choosing work because our parents put pressure on us to be a lawyer or an accountant or a doctor or whatever it is, anytime we make decisions for someone else, we are investing our sacred life force in someone else's dream. Did you hear how crazy that sounds? You are being called to level up your sovereignty. You hear me use that word a lot. That's kind of my, if I had a tagline, sovereignty would be in it, and surrender. In order to manifest in alignment with self, you actually have to listen to self. You have to allow self to bring all the truth in the room and allow all the truth on the table. Okay, this is a bit of a direct message. You will not access your life purpose if you continue to live for other people, if you continue to hide the pieces of self that need life experience in order to step into this soul mission, this role as a healer, this ability to heal self. This whole reading, if I had to pick one theme, okay, this is it. If I had to pick one core theme of this message, you are on a path, Divine Feminines, to access anything else that's blocking your truth. That's a large umbrella, right? That could be a million different things. But again, this whole reading is around getting you back into congruency, getting you back into alignment. There's so many visuals I'm getting and none of them make sense to share, so I'm silent. Let's get some more cards. I keep staring at these the manifestation card, which remember, we have 2 of them here. Let me look at the pairings. Hold on. That's one thing I didn't do. Let's see. So manifestation came out with masks, and the other manifestation came out with compassion. Again, to level up. Okay, how do I say this? Your ability to ascend to the next level, or if you don't like that linear kind of hierarchical wording, your ability to expand so that you can hold more is directly correlated with your amount of compassion you can have for self and others. You've heard me say it a million times. I'm probably going to say it every reading or every other reading. We're working on being able to hold our center for love of self and other in any and all flavors of chaos. This is the dream, right? Because when we can access love in any flavor of chaos, we can access grounding, peace, and from that place, we can wield our life force in alignment with our calling. In short, we can access discernment. Okay, what else is going on, Spirit? Give us some other guidance around. I haven't had a reading like this in a while. It just feels kind of, you know what it feels like? It feels like we're in the deep end of the pool and there's a lot of stuff floating around, but we don't have our footing. So we can't grab onto it or we can't play with our friends or family. We're kind of just treading water right now. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. Okay, karmic completion, perseverance, synchronicity, and forgiveness. And then in the unconscious, we have individuality. Again, bringing authenticity out of the shadows into the light. We had, let me think. I think it was the collective reading I just did that ended on a karmic completion. Maybe not. Anyway, doesn't matter. Divine Feminines forgive all of the pieces of self that have made the choices they made, that have put you in circumstances with people, places, and things that have not been in alignment with your truth. That's not a small thing. I know I just said it, but forgiveness is one of those things that will continue to circle back around. It's not lost on me the role of forgiveness on the twin flame path, right? We spend so much time projecting our narrative onto this other person. And we focus on this external person, place, or thing, right? We project all the chaos outward, not realizing that we have to actually go inward and take accountability and responsibility for the pieces of self that person, place, or thing is reflecting back to us. I don't like this reading. I'm just going to say it. I don't like it. I don't like it. No, nothing's coming. I just sat with that. Nothing's coming out. You know what I'm wondering? Spirit, hold on. Healing. Okay. You know, we're getting... And I had a feeling... Okay, let me just voice. After the first and second deck, I had a feeling that we were capped out. I had a feeling that we were hitting the ceiling with the messages, and when they start repeating themselves, it's a confirmation. I'm still going to pull cards just in case. This is the last deck I'm probably going to use. That's always a lie. I love my decks. Let's see. Anything else, Spirit? Okay, what does that say? Skull endings. Okay. Yeah, you're putting an end to wearing these masks. You're closing up shop. Okay. Anything new, Spirit, Moon, emotions? endings. Yeah, I mean, it came out in reverse. Let's just honor that. Where in your life are you holding on when it's time to let go? What a slow, weird, choppy reading. Okay, I'm sitting down for this one. I'm going to get cozy. Divine Feminines, you are being called to individuate from parents, from old beloveds, from non-beloveds, from crappy ex-partners, from crappy old bosses, from anything and anyone that has informed you about you. You are being called to cut the cords on all... I almost said cut the crap. Yes, you are being called to cut the crap and cut all of these cords to these things that are keeping you operating at a deficit. I can't stop. All my energy is focused on this drought card. What in your life is bleeding you dry? Where are you leaking energy to? What holes do you need to plug? Let's just brainstorm for a moment. This is just me. Let's just actually drop into this and make this work real. Anytime, let's do the big ones. Anytime you say yes when you want to say no, that is a massive energy leak, and you are betraying self. Betrayal is a huge word. I'm very aware of that. That is the word I am intentionally choosing, because in the realm of energy, it doesn't matter if you are eating an apple when you really want an orange, or you're letting someone touch you that you don't want to touch you. It doesn't matter the severity of the crime. It is still registered on the energetic level in the quantum field as a betrayal. So this takes some recalibrating to shift our value system to understand that there is no such thing as a small choice. There is no such thing. If you want to use pepper and you use salt, you are betraying self. I know this sounds dramatic, but I'm just emphasizing it because in the realm of energy, energy does not differentiate. Betrayal is betrayal in the quantum field. When you do not operate and take action in alignment with your spirit, you are betraying self. Set an intention and incubate a dream before you go to sleep. You can even ask, show me where I'm betraying self. And then pay attention to your dreams before you open your eyes. When you're in that weird, sleepy, fuzzy liminal space between asleep and awake, do not open your eyes. Ask yourself the question, what was the overall feeling of this dream? Not how do you feel about it now, but what did you feel in that dream? Write it down, because that is the core thing you want to excavate. Okay. Isn't it interesting that I was talking about silence and this video has so much silence? Like I said, I don't love this reading. The messages are divine, but I don't like how the energy's coming out. It feels weird in my system, but we're going to keep plugging forward. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Of course I'm getting more cards. Of course. No, I already used these. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. Whoop, knocking everything over now. Okay, Spirit, anything else for Divine Feminines? Okay, we have make plans and focus. Wait for more information. That feels contradictory. We have shift your perception. And then trust in higher forces is in the reverse. Okay. So you're being called, it's not an accident. So a lot of the things I said in this reading are probably contrary to how you naturally think, right? Especially the thing I said about crossing one's boundary and the betrayal. It's going to take a shift. It's going to take an integration period for you to start fine-tuning your awareness so that where you might have been on autopilot before, now you're going to fine-tune your lens so that where you saw a habit or where you were in a habit or a pattern, an unconscious pattern, now you're going to see a choice point. So if you like woke up every day and you made the same coffee every day and you went to your favorite, I don't know, barista, or, you know, you just put on the same work clothes or you did the same thing, now you are going to train your consciousness to be intentional with everything that you do. I don't care if it's how you put the toothpaste on the toothbrush. This is training your consciousness, training your awareness to bring intention and micro presence to every single thing that you do. This is step 1. Step 2 is being like, oh, okay, I can discern now. Does this matter to me, right? You may not give a crap about how the toothpaste goes on your toothbrush. However, by training your awareness, when you get to things like, oh, you get to work and now your coworker asked you to pick up more work and yet you're not going to get any credit, or it's just going to be a burden to you. Now you're not going to just have an unconscious reaction to it. You're going to drop in and feel into your body. What is your body telling you? Does that feel like a hell yes to help out your coworker? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We are training our awareness to consider ourselves. This is, again, bringing our self-love, bringing our worthiness down to ground level, down through the chakra systems in real life. Again, we are training our awareness to consider self. So often feminine energy is usually considering everyone but self, right? Taking care of all the things, carrying the double, triple, quadruple burdens of labor, of mental, emotional, spiritual labor, of consideration. Even like, you know what came to mind right now is how the mother is the one who keeps track of everyone's birthdays, like in the family, an extended family. And it's funny because my mother did that. We had a huge, huge family, one of those desk calendars, and that was her command center, that calendar. Everything went on that calendar. Anything else, Spirit, about this inner healer? Anything else about that? Okay, we have elder healing through the lineage. You know, another message that's coming up in this is, remember, we are working on taking off, even before that, we are working on identifying our masks. Identifying when we're being a certain way, when we prefer to be a different way. We're identifying places where we are hiding a piece of self. Okay, that's the first message. And then the second message in this is this also might be taking off masks for your ancestors. Did your ancestors or your cultural ancestors, like did your entire culture have to hide a piece of self in order to survive? This might also be, do you see where I'm going with this? So bring your awareness to anything that has been hidden. Again, this could be like historical, this could be cultural, this could be a moment in time. For instance, if you wrote a paper and somebody plagiarized it, did you never get credit for that for all of that hard work you did? There's something here about dismantling, going backwards and dismantling, taking off the masks over that which was hidden. We have trust your talents in changing times and follow the voice of your soul. Yeah, there's a message here in these things might not always be obvious. I mean, of course, start with your own life. Start with this lifetime and immediately what comes to mind when I say these things. You know, can you make a list of moments in the last week where you've crossed your boundaries? Or even in the last 10 minutes? You know, did you actually get the intuitive hit that you really need to go to sleep, but you stayed up binge watching something? That's crossing your boundary. That is not honoring your intuition. Do you see how small these things can be? But they add up. And basically what you're telling your soul, what you're telling your intuition is, I don't hear you, you're ignoring it, or you're saying, nope, you don't have the authority over me. I'm going to do whatever I want. It's like a kid throwing a tantrum. No, I'm going to stay up late. I'm not going to brush my teeth. I'm going to eat ice cream for breakfast. You know, it's that kind of energy. And so we're dropping back in and individuating from this kind of, I don't want to say immature in a critical way, but I just mean a young energy, a less evolved energy. We are individuating and stepping into this role as this inner parent, this inner healer. Okay. Whew. We eventually got there, but geez, it took quite a bit. And then we have Broken Arrow, embrace the energy of peace. Yeah, I want to say to you, by wearing all of these masks, you are creating disruption within self. So I want to pose the question here, who are you really wearing these masks for? Is it for your ego? Is it so you come off a certain way? Or is there a real visceral reason? For instance, are you protecting your safety? Do you have to perform a certain way or else someone is going to, I don't know, punish you or cut you off, or, the energy of a very toxic boss is coming up where they are like holding your job over your head. You know, that's a real, right? That affects your root chakra. That is terrifying, right? That affects your financial wealth, your abundance, your stability, your safety in this world, right? Food, water, shelter. Hold the space. That was not a small thing I said, so I just want to give it a moment to breathe. If anything ever comes up from my readings that is incredibly dense and activating, pause the video, step away, vibrate that energy. Allow your body to tremor. You could do a hand scream or a full body shake. You could dance around your room. Allow that energy to dissipate, to vibrate through your body. Because something's triggering you for a very specific reason, whether you can pinpoint it or not. You're being called to take care of self, right? By stopping the video and taking care of self, you are actually individuating from that pain and parenting self in that moment. I'm just realizing too, a huge other message in this is this inner healer is actually in every micro moment. This opportunity to step into the role as the inner healer shows up in every micro moment. Like just what I said, you might be leisurely watching a YouTube reading, like maybe this one, and you were caught off guard by the information shared. All of a sudden, you're in a position that you were not prepared for. You know, you didn't start this reading with the intention of, okay, Karen's going to trigger me today. I better be prepared. You know, you didn't set that intention. Well, I hope you didn't. It's not my intention to trigger you, but on this journey, literally anything can trigger anything. Your unique blend of triggers is only for you, right? It's all concocted for you. It's filled with a bunch of unique puzzle pieces that only you can put together. So there's a call to higher sovereignty. There's a call to higher individuation here. How you treat yourself matters in every single moment, whether you're getting up out of your cozy bed to go brush your teeth, or taking a shower, or going for a walk when you've been staring at your phone for 8 hours straight, or your computer. All of these moments matter. Okay, let's get some spirit messages. How much time do we have left? Okay, I like to keep these like around a half hour just because, you know. Okay, Spirit, anything for Divine Feminines? They've been working so freaking hard. Okay, we have a bunch. We have choices. We have a child's love. We have new beginnings, study, and listening. Okay, Spirit, which one would you like me to read? New beginnings. Everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. Choices. When you accept responsibility for your life and the choices you make, you begin to tap into the power of your own spirit. You'll be able to listen to and appreciate the intuitive wisdom that's inside of you and apply it positively and constructively to your outside world, leading into listening. You have to be willing to listen if you want to really understand someone or self. Now is not the time to be offering advice, but to be a compassionate listener. To listen fully and intently means to pay attention, not to just what's being said, but to what lies beneath the words. Although this card focused this information towards external people, I felt the energy of listening to your internal parts, listening and studying your internal child's truth. We have study. Spirit has its own special way of letting you know that it's time to study again. From time to time, it's important to go back and learn, whether that's learning old things in a new way or learning something totally new. This is an opportunity to expand your mind. And then I will end on a child's love. The love between a parent and a child is one of the most precious and deep connections we make during our time on earth. Children start out as a part of us, and from their first cries, they establish themselves as the biggest part of our hearts. Again, call your spirit back to ground. Call your spirit back in order to step into this role as this inner healer or divine parent. Your inner parts need you. By being in alignment, this is how you will access this abundance or whatever your flavor of abundance is. Okay, let's get a divine feminine Buddha wisdom quickly. Anything for these beautiful divine feminines? Don't let worldly temptations lead you astray. Yeah, calling your spirit back from places it doesn't belong. You know the drill. All right, I will see you in the next one.